And I'll let you ask your next question. You have a problem with Jesus, let's say, worshiping or praying to the Father, let's say. But you should know this if you follow me. According to your authentic tradition, even in the Quran, not only does Allah pray, but the Quran will actually come and speak with Allah, and the surahs of the Quran will come to Allah and argue with Allah to intercede for you who recite it. How's that possible? How's that possible? I'll give you the hadith, but let me repeat what I just said. If the Quran is the speech of Allah and it's not a living entity, like Jesus is the speech, the word of the Father, but he is a living person, distinct from the Father, which is why he can speak to him, even though he's inseparable from him. If the Quran is not a living entity that can speak, how does the Quran and the surahs of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Imran, which is in the Sahih narration, I'm going to give it to you in a minute, go before Allah and argue with Allah and make Allah forgive those that recite the Quran? How's that possible if this is Allah's speech? Is Allah speaking to himself?
Again, it would be hypocritical if I speak on something I don't know.
Well, let me give you the hadith. I'm going to give you the article in the hadith, and then you can go back to your scholar. So you don't think I'm lying. It's from Sahih Muslim and other narrations that are deemed Sahih. So let me give it to you. Hold on. So you can get there because all the hadiths are there, and then I link to it online. The Talking Quran, Uthman ibn Farouk's lies exposed. So here it is for the rest of you. Because see, what did I say? Never use an argument against the Trinity that can be used against the Quran if you want to stay Muslim. You can be an atheist, and then we have a different conversation. But I just sent you the link. You see it in the private chat?
Yeah.
Okay, now let me show you where it says from Sahih Muslim. Here it is online. Sahih Muslim. This is a Muslim website. Here it is. The chapters of the Quran will appear as flocks of bird, and they will make shifah, intercession, for those that recited the Quran. Here it is. I'm going to post it for everyone to see. So here it is. Watch here. So how does the Quran speak to Allah if the Quran is Allah's speech? Is that Allah speaking to himself?
I don't know.
Exactly. This is the stuff they're not going to teach you. And when they teach you, oh, no, man, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't mean what it says. I know. So make Tauhid. Here you go. Abu Umama said he heard Allah's messenger say, recite the Quran, for on the day of resurrection, it will come as an intercessor for those who recite it. Wait, the Quran is going to be a Shafi intercessor for you if you recite it, but then it gets worse for you. Recite the two bright ones, Al-Baqarah and Surah Al-Imran, that's chapter 2 and 3. Why? For on the day of resurrection, they will come. So chapter 2 and chapter 3 will come as two clouds. So they're going to appear in visible shape, or two shades, or two flocks of birds and rings, pleading with Allah for those who recite them. Recite Surah Al-Baqarah, for to take recourse in it is a blessing, and to give it up is a cause of grief, and the magicians cannot confront it. So how does the chapters of the Quran appear separately, and how do they appear in visible shape for you to see, and how do they speak separately from each other to Allah if it's all the speech of Allah?
Yeah, I guess I would have to show that to someone in my masajid.
Yeah, show it to Shamsi, the guy who verifies. Okay, but my point is, if this is true, and it is because it's Sahih Muslim, it's not Da'if, brother, Sahih Muslim. If this is true, that means each chapter of the Quran is living and conscious, and each chapter of the Quran can appear separately and can appear in a shape that you see these chapters. And that means if the Quran has 114 surahs, that means you have 114 uncreated living beings who can appear visibly and speak and argue with Allah. So how many gods do you have, dude?
One. Well,
no, because there are 114 surahs. They're uncreated because the Quran is uncreated. Each surah can appear visibly and speak. That's 114 uncreated living beings who can speak. And some of them will speak with Allah. That means if I do math, 114 and Allah, that's 115 gods or 115 divine persons.